What up? What up? What's up? Of course, it's me, your boy Richie Rich, at Consumer Appliance Report. That's what we do, appliance reviews all day long. But before we begin, you always know what time it is. It's me. Appreciate you guys always listening. Always subscribe to the channel. We appreciate all of your help and everything that you do for us. Again, we're going to do what we can to make sure that you get what you need as far as these appliance repair reviews when selecting the right one. Don't forget, subscribe, hit the like button and the alert button. All right, appreciate that. So we're going to focus on the parts. And this is key when your appliance break down, how much you're going to charge when it does break. When a repair guy come out, how much is he going to charge you, and is it really worth getting repaired? All right, so just from my experiences in working with gas ranges, the most common issue that typically goes bad when you're dealing with the oven not heating is your igniter. All right, so that igniter typically goes bad. Sometimes it's weak, so it will glow. It won't light consistently. It will take forever to preheat. Sometimes you might smell gas because it's not strong enough to ignite the gas valve so that the gas comes out, creates the combustion, then you're cooking and you get some good food there. All right, so even though you're seeing it glowing, it still might be an indication that it could be bad. But that part typically goes bad on a lot of these ranges, on gas ranges. It's a common issue, so don't be too alarmed when it does go bad. If you're looking at pricing, right, let's start with the range Brawl Igniter. You're looking at $103.88. All right, so roughly speaking, $100 and something if you get the parts yourself. Don't forget markup. All right, so if you're spending $103 for a part, labor, if a company comes out, they charge you $150. You're looking at about $260, $270. That's if they don't mark up the price. That's if that's the price of the labor as well. Don't forget, these prices that we're quoting are just examples for you to get an idea on what it is that you're going to pay when they come out. All right, so that's for the broiler. So the broiler igniter and the bake igniter is somewhat similar. So the prices are not that bad, but the bake element is a little bit cheaper. You're looking at about 75 bucks. All right, so 75 bucks plus 150. That's about what, 260, 220, something like that. 220, 230. That's without taxes and stuff like that. So that's not bad for you to call a service company, come out within the next 5 to 10 years, because they normally last that long, where they probably give you some common issues just from all those years you cooking those great Thanksgiving meals and stuff like that. Then boom, you got to pay 220 bucks, 230 bucks to get it repaired. All right, so that's not bad there. Another common issue that typically goes bad outside of that, if you have an issue with the gas safety valve, right? So that's the gas safety valve that regulates the gas to allow the gas to distribute from the cooktop into the bake or the broiler inside the oven. That part you're looking at roughly 177. So let's just mark it up to about 200 for the example that we're trying to present. 200, 150, you're looking at 350. So that's not bad there. All right. So just keep that in mind as well. So now let's focus on another part that typically go bad on here is the spark module. All right, the spark module is the part that allows when you turn it to light, it ignites and starts to click. All right, you have the surface igniters and then you have the spark module. So the spark module is the part that allows it to spark. All right, so roughly if you're just looking at that part that controls the spark module for the surface igniters up top, you're looking at about $100. So that's not bad. Like some of these prices that we just quote, extremely affordable as far as getting it repaired. All right, so you're looking at $100. All right, so that's another easy part that typically goes bad as well on here. So we're going to search around, give you some ideas on these parts that goes bad as well. Then you got to look at, you have switches. All right, so what normally happens with these switches is when you're cooking, all right, over time the pot boils over and it drips inside the burners or sometimes inside the switches, and they can short the switches out. All right, or the switch naturally could just short up by themselves. So it comes as an assembly where you can replace the switches. Those parts, if they burn out, you got to replace the whole entire assembly. So if you're looking at that, that is about 73 bucks, 73.19. That's on SearsPartsDirect.com. So we're looking at different pricing for different appliances. Again, it's not that bad as far as getting it repaired if it needs to be done. All right, so let's look at some of the controls or the electronics. All right, so this is what controls the bake, the broil, So when you're pressing these buttons so that you can cook and convection and all this type of stuff, this is the brains of the operation. So when you're starting to deal with the control board, man, they could get pretty expensive. Remember, it's technology. The components on the inside of them, the electronics, they could be pretty expensive. So roughly you're looking at $305. So if you need to replace that control, which controls your bake, your broil, your convection, your self-clean, so all these different functions, all these different features, time bake, and all the stuff that you might have on there as well, you're gonna have to pay 300 and something bucks for the parts. Again, this is not with taxes or nothing like that. You're looking at 300 something bucks. Then, you know, a reasonable labor you're looking at is 150, so we're just gonna go with that. So you're looking at 450, 500 bucks to get that repaired. Again, you're still gonna get it repaired because it beats the price of paying 1,500 bucks to get a new one 10 years from now. All right, so just keep that in mind. Let's see what else they got on here, because they got some interesting stuff. But the control, and you have the switch assembly. All right, so let me describe that for a second. On certain appliances, you have the control that you press the different buttons. Sometimes that comes as an assembly, sometimes it comes separately. So they would call it a switch membrane, or a switch, or a touchpad, or a control board. All the same name, all the same thing. But what it does, it communicates with the control board, so when you hit a certain button, it reacts to it. All right. Also, they call it a user interface board because you're interacting with it. All right. So if you're replacing that switch by itself because for some reason you press the number 3 and you're trying to hit 350 and that 3 doesn't work, and it only you have a 2 that doesn't work and certain buttons that don't work, then that part alone you're looking at about 227 bucks, 230 bucks, just rounding it up for make sure that we understand what's taking place here. So you're looking at about 230 bucks as far as the parts for the switch membrane or the touchpad. Then you got to factor in labor and all that stuff. So again, that's not too bad. Again, 75% of the value of that appliance, you're gonna get it fixed, man. You're not gonna spend another $1,500 because it's not really worth it. It's something that you can get done so that you can have your oven working. All right. And again, it is a Whirlpool unit, and that's the great benefit of having these traditional brands: GE, Whirlpool, Kenmore, KitchenAid, stuff like that, Frigidaire. Most of the times their parts are easy to get, so they're not as it's not like Samsung and LG where at times you might have problems with it, or you might have certain companies that don't work on Samsung and LG. All right, so that's some of the benefits that you'll get when you're working on different appliances, especially standard brands that you can actually fix. Parts are easy for you to get. All right, so anything else? Let's look at the door. If your glass was to break, majority of the time, I would say often, the doors and the glass are separate. You have your inner door, you have the glass. So normally what happens with the glass when you're cooking, if it's too hot in there, over time it could crack the glass and the glass breaks. All right, so if I need to replace the range oven inner glass door, you're looking at about $63.25 for the part. All right, so that's good there. If your door handle was to break, you need a new door handle. And for a door handle, you're looking at about $56. Ain't too bad. $56 for a door handle. That's pretty decent. All right. So just when you're keeping that in mind, when you're talking about that type of stuff, the door handle, that's for the upper oven that I just quoted as well. So the upper oven, the door is not that expensive as far as trying to get it done. So I'm trying to look at certain things that typically also goes bad on here as well. As you bear with your boy, you have these surface igniters. That's the igniters that actually ignites when you're turning the switch and the knob there. That could be extremely affordable. It's not really complicated in trying to get that stuff done there. It's just a matter of just trying to find a part on here. So you can order them as an assembly, which is a lot cheaper. Those manifolds or orifices that comes as an assembly is about 43 bucks. If one of the igniters doesn't work, you can actually order that part as well. So like I stated before, it's extremely affordable as far as what do you need in order to get this appliance repaired. All right, so that's the benefit there. That's the great thing there as far as when you're purchasing this appliance for 1,500 bucks. One, parts is affordable. Two, parts is accessible, so that's going to be extremely good. So if you need to order a part or get a part within the next few years, if it breaks, then you'll be fine. All right, so again, that's the price of the parts, and if you have any issue with this particular appliance. I'm trying to think, is there anything else that typically goes bad with these that you probably would need outside of just the igniters for the oven and the surface igniters and the clocks? You have knobs that you can purchase, man, but knobs are so easy for you to get. You can just get them on your own just by slipping them off and slipping back on. Outside of that, man, that is it. Of course, it's me. Subscribe to the channel, man. It's me, your boy Richie Rich, at Consumer Appliance Report. Don't forget, man, you help me, I help you, we help each other. Till next time, it's me, your boy. I am out. Peace.